Today we are going to meet our muse. This is something that I once did through a guided meditation that was led by Lisa Lister, that was on a course that we did. It was called the She Is Lit course. Lisa runs these from time to time, and whenever she does run one, then I highly recommend that you go and do it. You can do these kind of guided meditations for all sorts of things. So the other night, on April Fool's Day, I held a quarter moon ceremony, which was the waxing moon ceremony. We celebrated the archetype of the Fool. Before that, I took people on a guided meditation where I introduced people to their Fool. And the Fool is your subconscious, it's the unknown, it's everything beyond the known. So out here we have the outer world and the Fool is your inner world. And so your muse is your Fool. If we meet your spirit animal, which I'm going to do in another video, then that's your Fool. Basically everything inner is your Fool. It's just another name for it. You know, and it's been gods and religions and all these things, they're all in there, they're all in your inner world. But for this, I'm going to take us to meet your muse. And I'm dressed like this because my muse wanted me to get dressed up today, and so I'm in fancy dress. You're going to need a pen and paper, and I'm going to take you on a guided meditation. So get yourself nice and comfy and have like a cup of tea and a glass of water near you. So you're ready and cozy and comfy, and then I'm going to do a meditation with you. I'm going to take you on a journey to meet your muse. So get comfortable. We're going to close our eyes and I'm going to take you on a journey. So close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths right down into your pelvic bowl. In front of you, there is a boat and a gentle stream, river, and the river goes off into the distance as far as you can see. You carefully climb into the boat and pay attention to what the boat is made from, the material and the colour, and how is it going to manoeuvre, whether it has oars or a sail, and whether it has a rudder, or maybe it's a motorboat or a speedboat and it has an engine. You decide what your boat looks like, and you set off and you start to make your way along the river, and you notice what the banks look like. Perhaps you're in an alpine forest, or maybe it's the jungle. Or maybe you're going down the Nile and either side you can see desert and pyramids. You decide. The river can be anywhere you want it to be. And you can hear animals. Notice what the weather's like. What does the sky look like? What can you hear and what can you smell? Feel the seat beneath your bum and the floor of the boat beneath your feet, and become aware of what you're wearing. Now the boat turns a corner, and as you turn the corner, you are faced with the most beautiful house you have ever seen. It's however you want it to be. What would be your dream place to live? It can be any type of building or structure. It could even be a stone circle or a glade. Whatever you would, in your dream world, live in. And there's a kind of entrance, either a door or a gate, or 2 trees that make a kind of gateway if you're going into a natural opening. And when you stop your boat, you climb out and you get ready to go through this portal. But you stop to notice the detail of this place you're about to pass through. So if it's a door, you notice what material it's made from, and the door knocker and the handle. If it's a gateway or a portal, you notice what is around the edges. What is the thing that you're going to pass through? Is there something you'll need to open? Just see it all in detail. And then you pass through and you enter into a big space. And you straight away notice your favourite smells. What are your favourite smells? And then you see that there's a table covered in delicious food, and it's all your favourite foods. You look at it and you can see all your favourite things on there. What are they? What do you see on the table? And all over the floor and around the edges of this space, there are bits of rug and material and things. There's lots of drapes and textures, and it's all your favourite textures, and they're all in your favourite colours. Begin to see what those colours are, what those textures are. And then at the other end of the space, you see that there is another door. And as you look across at it, it opens and your muse walks into the room. And you see them. What do they look like? How are they dressed? They're welcoming you into the space, and they invite you to come and sit with them. There's a thing for you to sit on. It could be a chaise lounge, or it could be a throne, or it could be a sofa or a log, whatever fits in your space. And you sit together, and your muse takes your hand, and you look into each other's eyes. What gender is your muse? Maybe it doesn't have a gender. Is it human, or is it something else? What does their hand feel like? Whatever that might be. And then you take a moment to just breathe together. You know each other really well. Your muse drops your hand and takes something beside them and hands it to you. It's an object. You look down and you see what the object is. And then they tell you something. Something about your practice, your creativity, your inspiration. It's either a secret or a tip or some words of encouragement or a place or a thing that they think that you should pursue. And you thank your muse. And you get up and you begin to leave the space, remembering as you pass all the lovely things that were there, how much you enjoy all these things. And you walk out the door and you get back into your boat and you make your way back along the river. You've still got the object with you. You sail along until you reach yourself again, back home, here in this space. And take a deep breath. You open your eyes. So when I did that guided meditation led by Lisa Lister, I met a sexy female fox, and this is her. I then did some research to see if there were any female fox goddesses or like characters that she might, there might have been some sort of message or inspiration from. And it turns out that there is a fox goddess, or it's a sex-changing, shape-changing fox with like 9 tails called Huxian. And then there is also a fox goddess called Shona. And Shona, so Huxian is male or female, master of metamorphosis, immortal, transcendent, and represents wealth and prosperity in China. And then Shona, which is pronounced Shannon, actually, so it's Shannon, is Irish, and it means wise little one. And the reason why the fox is wise, and I think this is maybe where the cunning fox and the idea of Brer Fox and stuff comes from, is that the fox used to eat the salmon of knowledge. And the salmon of knowledge are smart because they ate the hazelnuts from the tree of knowledge. And so the tree of knowledge would hang over this stream, and there was the 9 sacred hazel trees, and they would drop their hazelnuts into the stream, and the salmon would eat them, and then the fox would eat the salmon. And so as part of my design, I've added in salmon into the kimono. And then the 0 and the ball and everything represents the fool and the tarot and the ball and how it's everything and it's inner and outer combined. Got the hazelnut. And then here I've got a dragon, and yeah, so she's kind of Japanesey looking, but is, sorry, Chinesey looking. She's kind of Chinesey looking, but she's a, and when I wrote my book Sisterhood, I took myself away for 2 weeks and locked myself in, first of all, a log cabin for a week in Glastonbury, and then a week in Bristol on my own in this beautiful flat. And I made an altar to Shannon and like dressed this whole beautiful altar, and she was in the middle. And as part of the altar, I'd have a hazelnut, and I always have hazelnuts. The hazelnuts actually feature in the story of Sisterhood because Julian of Norwich, who was a spiritual teacher from the Middle Ages, she had a moment when she was nearly dying. She basically became a shaman. She was nearly dying, and when she did, she saw that everything in the universe that was beneath Mother Mary was as small as if it were a hazelnut, and that's referred to in the play. So I've been to her chapel in Norwich, and this hazelnut's actually from Julian of Norwich's chapel in Norwich, but I keep her on my altar space in the arms of the goddess down here. And when I take myself away and do the writing, I will eat salmon, and I eat chocolate and salmon and roses, and the smell of frankincense and rose and sandalwood are the smells that I could smell. And Shannon loves glitter and sparkles and sequins and red velvets and red satin, white and red and dark purples and satins and soft textures. So I just surround myself with these things, and I'll dress like this. And when I do a bit of writing, when I'm working, if I do something that I'm really then proud of and I feel like I've really achieved something, I'll do a thank you to Shannon and kind of give her some worship. And I love it. I love having a muse that's my friend that I know. It's like my special friend who is there for me. And the more you get to know her and celebrate the things, all the aspects about your muse, then you start filling your life with all these lovely things that you really enjoy. I love having all these things in my life now. And I had them a bit before because there were things I liked, but now it's more an act of worship. And it's the idea of turning everything into an act of worship is what I really love. Turn your whole life into an act of worship. And by worshipping your muse and manifesting your muse outwardly in the material world is one step towards doing that and filling your life with yummy things that you love.